Okay, now as we look at lesson 1.2, this deals with the fundamental operations of algebra. And in working with those, I'm sure this will come back to you quite a bit, but we have a law of addition, commutative and associative, and then the laws of multiplication, commutative and associative. What you want to keep in mind is commutative is when you interchange the order. Like we can add A plus B, or we could add B plus A. We get the same result, whether we add 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 2. That's what this is saying here. So when you see the word commutative, you want to be thinking order. And associative, you need to have at least 3 values to be working with. So like the associative law of addition, you've got 3 numbers that you want to add together. Suppose they're 2, 3, and 4. Well, technically addition is a binary system, so you need to add 2 together at a time. So you could add either the first 2 numbers together and then get an answer and add to the third, or you could add the second and third number together, get an answer and add it to the first. So the only thing that's changed is the grouping here where the parentheses is located. So with associative property, that's what you want to think of. Associative means a change in the grouping. And the same thing's true for the commutative law of multiplication and the associative law of multiplication. Notice commutative, just the order. Associative, changing the grouping. Now, distributive law is a little bit more involved because it involves 2 operations. So if I'm looking at the distributive property, like for literal, here this means variables. Notice here we have this A that's sitting on the outside that is in red, and we want to distribute that to both terms inside the parentheses. So we're going to multiply A times the first term and A times the second term. So this would be our answer, AB plus AC. So the same thing would be true if we were doing a problem such as this one, the second example here. The number that we're trying to distribute is on the outside of the parentheses, so we're distributing this number 5 to both values inside the parentheses, the x and the 3. So we're multiplying 5 times x and 5 times 3. Now it's not considered to be very good form to put x as a multiplication symbol and x as a variable side by side. That could be confusing. So we just put these 2 together. That's understood when you see this 5x, that's understood to be 5 times x. And with the same particular lesson, with the order of operations, you always work within grouping symbols first. You know, if you're given several things to deal with. The second thing you want to do is exponents. Then thirdly, you multiply and divide from left to right, and addition and subtraction from left to right after you take care of that. So if we had something like this problem, negative 28 over negative 7 times 5 minus 6, the first thing we want to do is take care of this 5 minus 6. So because that's inside grouping symbols. So 5 minus 6 is negative 1. So we make that replacement. 5 minus 6 is negative 1. And now we've got negative 28 divided by 7 times negative 1. Now, I know you may not think of it as a grouping symbol, but the division bar here, that acts as a grouping symbol. Let's see if I can get it to highlight like I want it to. So this division bar, here's another grouping symbol. So it's taking negative 28 divided by negative 7 times negative 1, and we're getting negative 28 divided by positive 7, because we know a negative times a negative is positive, and then we do our division, and our final answer is negative 4. I hope this helps.